Meet Azoulay.
But they call me the Batman. They say you're fucking fit, you know how to fight, you know how to work with weapons, you have money.
Online, he called himself King Azoulay, a figure wrapped in strength, dominance, and inherited greatness, a self-styled alpha male, a fighter, a mentor, someone who claimed pain forged him, violence sharpened him, and destiny crowned him.
Everybody gets beat up, everybody gets knocked the fuck out, everybody's going to sleep. Once everybody's asleep, then I ask what happened.
To his audience, he wasn't just successful, he was untouchable. But myths only survive in the dark. King Azoulay first appeared publicly around 2022, posting short-form videos that followed a familiar formula: flexed physiques, intense eye contact, absolute certainty. At first, it was harmless, just another motivational personality telling young men to wake up earlier, work harder, sleep less, and fear nothing. But it didn't take long for the stories to escalate. According to Azoulay himself, his life wasn't ordinary. It was cinematic. He claimed he survived street violence as a child, that he fought dozens of men at once, that pain made him stronger, literally, that he trained his bones by smashing them into hard surfaces to create microscopic fractures, that he learned ancient techniques passed down through elite warriors.
Something called microfractions. Little microfractions that you cause with hitting the bone thickens the bone. I used to sit there and hit my shins with a hammer.
None of this was presented as metaphor. These were framed as lived experiences, and the stories kept growing. He said he was trained by Shaolin monks. He said he fought in underground fight rings as a teenager. He said organized crime figures noticed him, recruited him, protected him. He said he worked in counterterrorism alongside major government agencies, but couldn't provide details because the units were invisible. Every claim was bigger than the last, every detail impossible to verify. Yet for his followers, verification didn't matter. The image did. Luxury cars appeared on his platforms, expensive homes, high-status language. He spoke about retiring young, selling patents for hundreds of millions, and choosing purpose over comfort. He sold coaching calls, private programs, advice targeted at young, insecure men looking for structure, identity, and power.
Look me in the eye. Tell me, what do you see? Do you see the warrior inside of me? Do you see the man that's been through battles, who thought not just about now, but 5 years, 10 years from now? Don't tell me you can't do it. Don't tell me you need to rest. You can't take a rest if you haven't got there yet.
This wasn't just motivation, it was mythology packaged as mentorship. But beneath the image, cracks began to form. Viewers noticed inconsistencies, timelines didn't line up, achievements couldn't be traced. Organizations he referenced had no record of him. Even his written descriptions contradicted the polished persona he projected on camera.
I told you, I worked in counterterrorism for over a decade. So for me, I wasn't allowed to be even on social media or any of these things. And even today, I'm not allowed to even speak about what unit I was in, things like that, for the next 5 years. I can't share it with anybody, but
there's a lot of people out there that would say, now that's where I'm calling bullshit.
That's fine. Nobody cares.
And
I don't
it's
care.
Convenient that you can't talk about it so no one can verify.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's units that are called invisible units.
I'm not doubting you. I always give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I don't care.
But if I were to question it, I would say, well, wait a minute. At 17, you were homeless. At 18, right. 19, you were cleaning carpets. Then you got into telemarketing. Then you went, then you started doing real estate. And you started investing here and there. And that was only 10 years ago. So when was the counterterrorism?
Yeah.
And who is it for? The Israeli army?
Well, it's Israel and the United States. You work with both.
That's the CIA.
That's because, no. Counterterrorism is a little bit different.
Still, exaggeration alone doesn't destroy a figure like this. Many online personalities survive on inflated backstories. What changed everything was prison. Azoulay openly acknowledged that he had been incarcerated. He framed it as a misunderstanding, something that happened to him, not something he did. He avoided details, offering vague explanations when questioned. But vague explanations invite investigation. As his platform grew, so did scrutiny. Independent researchers began looking into public records, not rumors, court documents, legal filings, paper trails that don't care about online personas. And what those records revealed didn't just contradict his story, they dismantled it. Because behind the alpha male branding, behind the warrior myths, behind the motivational speeches, there was a past that didn't want to stay buried. And once it surfaced, the story of King Azoulay stopped being about masculinity, success, or discipline. He became about deception, accountability, and the dangerous power of reinvention. The crown was starting to slip. As scrutiny intensified, the focus narrowed to one question Azoulay could never fully answer. Why did he go to prison? Publicly, he described it as an injustice, a situation where the system misread him, where violence, conflict, or circumstance pulled him into something that didn't define who he truly was. The explanation was always brief, carefully controlled, never specific. But court records don't deal in generalities. What investigators uncovered was not a rumor, not speculation, and not internet gossip. It was a criminal case from 2008, one that ended with a guilty plea, a case involving a minor. And once those documents surfaced, the mythology collapsed under the weight of documented fact. According to the official record, Ben Azoulay, his legal name, was prosecuted as an adult for a sexual offense involving a 15-year-old girl. The details were not vague. They were explicit, recorded, and affirmed in court. He admitted guilt. The conviction was real. The sentence was real. This wasn't an accusation. This was a matter of record. The case outlined how a minor was supplied with alcohol and drugs, how she was rendered incapacitated, and how multiple individuals participated in acts she could not consent to. Medical examinations later confirmed physical trauma consistent with assault. Law enforcement interviews confirmed admissions, and the legal outcome confirmed responsibility.
People from his past, men, women with stories, came and shared information about this asshole with me. And then also I looked into his criminal background. He had warrants, domestic violence issues, restraining orders, and to top it all off, he went to great lengths to hide it all from the internet. He went to great lengths to try to hide all his history online, right? Very hard to find information on this asshole, but if you know where to look, you could definitely find things, right? But I'm gonna show you here a document now on the screen. And you know what this is? This is this asshole trying to change his name to Ben Aston. And the reason why he wanted to change it was because he knew he was going online. He didn't want people looking up his information, right? So he did his best to hide it. So he filed this, a name change, with the court. But when he went to file it, the court said, fuck you. We're not allowing you to change your name because you have a warrant out for your arrest, you asshole, and we're not going to allow you to change your name.
This alone would have ended most online careers, but Azoulay didn't retreat. He responded. In a series of videos, some later, deleted, he attempted to reframe the incident, not deny it outright at first, but reshape it. He suggested misunderstandings, claimed exaggeration, implied ulterior motives. At times, he portrayed himself as a victim of circumstance, at others, as a reluctant hero who accepted punishment to protect others. The problem was consistency, because while his videos changed, the records didn't. In one version, he claimed nothing happened. In another, he admitted contact but denied wrongdoing. In another, he suggested the legal system pressured him into pleading guilty despite innocence. Each retelling contradicted the last, and none aligned with the documentation. As more information surfaced, patterns emerged: attempts to scrub his past, legal efforts to change his name, privacy complaints filed against videos discussing his conviction, strikes issued not against misinformation, but against factual reporting. Former associates came forward. Court filings referenced prior concerning behavior. Civil suits followed years later, not replacing the criminal case, but stemming from it. Those civil matters were eventually settled, a detail Azoulay would later present publicly as proof of innocence, despite the criminal conviction remaining untouched. That distinction mattered, because civil settlements don't erase criminal guilt. As the revelation spread, Azoulay escalated his defense. He compared himself to high-profile figures who claimed persecution.
There's a saying: if you're not smart enough like a Jew to make your own money, better learn how to sue one. I mean, you clearly know the stories about Andrew Tate, you know the story of Donald Trump. You guys know Cristiano Ronaldo.
At times, he implied conspiracies. At others, he attacked the credibility of the victim and her family. These statements weren't supported by evidence, and they stood in direct opposition to sworn testimony, medical findings, and his own prior admissions. What began as exposure soon became unraveling. The alpha persona, built on strength, control, and discipline, was now defined by evasion.